Well, universities, they don't keep up with that change, right? They cannot keep up with the level of change that is happening in the real world. And for you, without university, you probably would have never gotten into the what you're doing now, right? Because would you say university kind of exposed you to what you're doing now, or do you think you could have done it in a sense without the studies that you pursued?
So I don't think I could have done it without the studies that I pursued, but just because I would have never been exposed to programming in that direct a manner and that forceful a manner. Because at first, programming is so especially when you start with a really hard language, you don't want to do it anymore. You do the first couple things, and then you reach the first error. You're like, oh, I don't know what this is, and you're like, this, I don't want to do that. And then you have to give up, But there you have an assignment to do. You have to actually show your assignment. And you're kind of forced through. The first 6 months of programming are very painful. After that, they're very enjoyable, because when you figure it out, and then you become knowledgeable about it.
Okay.
It's very enjoyable. But the first 6 months are very painful. And if I didn't have that, schedule and that kind of structure to my learning in the early stage, I would have probably given up on it.
Really?
That being said, that could have been done in high school rather than in college, and then college would have become successful.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of a forceful love, isn't it? It takes some time to fall in love with programming.
Yeah, it does. But it's weirdly enough, it's like it's like your first cigarette. I don't know. It's a bit of a.
Nah, never tried. I don't know.
Yeah, but the first cigarette is always a little bit painful because you're cuffing and all that, but the nicotine still gets to your brain and you still kind of feel that rush that everybody's talking about.
Okay. Yeah. So was that with programming? Within the first 6 months you hated it, but somewhere within you still fell in love with it?
Definitely. It still feels right. It still feels. I mean, come on. You're building something from scratch. We're building a small video game. I had a really good teacher, to be fair, for 6 months. And he gave us really simple tasks like building a small video game based on stuff that he'd already made, so that we didn't have to do everything from scratch. It was really fun. So that part was really amazing. And I also did a lot of robotics because that was more my course at the time. So actually seeing that what your program actually interact with the real world I think it's really amazing in that sense.
Yeah. Okay. I'm out of interest. Your program taught you only C++ or also other languages?
Yeah, only C++ for the first 2 years. In the third year, I would have learned another language, but that was in a different university. And then I moved to Maastricht, and in Maastricht, they taught Java all the 3 years. Sorry,
okay.
All 3 years, yeah.
And is that because I do not know, is that a common thing in software engineering curriculums, or do they normally teach more languages or only one language?
I think they usually teach more than one languages. Most the ones that do are more innovative than the others, because it's like you said before, the software industry is ever changing. So if you want to keep up with the industry, you have to learn more languages, the newer, more hip languages.
Right.
Yeah. And I think in that respect, they would teach you more of those languages. And I know for a fact that most universities teach you at least 3 languages by the time you graduate. But Maastricht only teaches you the one. They've started to incorporate. To be fair, they've started to incorporate a second one, but only last year. So.
All right. Okay. I mean, they're a young university, so I guess they're still learning. If you could turn time back, right, you would have done your bachelor's or you would have done it both at the same time, right? Bachelor's and startup. Do you think you would have pursued a master's?